Now, he's an Argentinian manager. There's a lot of Argentinians, Italian, Spanish managers coming into England. But as the report that came out just recently said, there's only 4% of black ethnic minorities working behind the scenes in football. Is that something you feel strongly about?
Yeah, definitely. I've spoken about it on many occasions. We're seeing sort of like, as you said, Argentinians. You're seeing Spanish, all sorts of different nationalities come and apply their trade in the Premier League. That may be something to do with the fact that a lot of the clubs are being owned by Spanish, Italians, and so they're bringing the people that they know. And unfortunately, that's what football's always been about, even in this country. The old establishment has been about who you know rather than what you know. And people have got jobs on the strength of getting on that roundabout. They get off it, but they get back on it, and there's not been room for other people to get on it. So, this report was very interesting in its findings that, out of 552 coaches in this country, only 19 of them are from BME backgrounds.
So what could be done? I mean, is the Rooney Rule something that could work here, do you think?
It's either the Rooney Rule or a derivative of it. I've spoken about it in the past, and I've said the reason why I didn't believe it would work in this country is because at the moment, the way things are set up in this country, teams know who the next manager is before they've set the manager that they've got in place. So there's no interviewing process that goes on. In American football, where this Rooney Rule came about, whatever team decides they're going to change their current coach, they have to be an interviewing process where 4 people or 5 candidates apply for the job. Until that happens in this country, so unless the Premier League, the FA, the Football League, whoever it may be, all the bodies that are involved in it, come together and say, right, this is what we're going to do. Any manager that's sacked at a football club, now that football club has to advertise that position. That's the only way it will change. If it doesn't, we'll continue to see the same thing. And I said yesterday when I left the Houses of Parliament, that you go to these different. All I've done for the last 10 years is go to different venues and listen to the same speech.
Do you feel there is now an appetite to really make things change?
Well, I'm hoping so. Again, like I said, every time I've gone to one of these meetings, there's an appetite in there. But nothing's come to fruition. So then there's another meeting, and people are ferocious in what they're saying, but nothing is ever done about it until maybe the government may need to step in, because in the FTSE 100 a few years ago, they went in and said, right, 25% of your applicants have to be, or 25% of the people that work in that industry have to be of ethnic minority and female. So they've changed that. The government intervened. If the government can intervene in football, then that's what we need to do if we want to see more black players and black managers. And
of course, QPR here is a perfect example, isn't it? You're in a very diverse area. You've got an owner from an Asian background. You've got yourself involved. You've got Chris Ramsey now involved. Is this a model for going forward?
I said I was really surprised by that stat of only 19, because I said like 5 of them must have been at Tottenham and 5 of them must have been at QPR, because there was quite a few black coaches at Tottenham, and there's a few black coaches here at Queen's Park Rangers. So that leaves another 9 around the rest of the country. So it is something that we need to improve, because there are a lot of players that come out of the game that want to go back into coaching and perhaps management. They just probably feel they're not going to get the opportunity, and that's how it's been in recent times.
And it's very much also about engaging with the community as well, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. People identify. We're trying to get more black people through the stadiums, coming to watch football games, and they need something to identify with.
Now, at the weekend you were sitting with Roy Hodgson. I don't know if he's told you any secrets, but the England qualifiers coming up, and they're well set in the campaign for the Euros. How do you see the state of the national team at the moment?
He didn't tell me any secrets. All he said was the food was quite good here. But no. Listen, we're progressing in the way we need to progress. After every game, there's always disappointment, because we expect England to go out and win 6 and 7-0 every time they go out and play. Football's just not like that anymore, and he's trying to do the best he can with the squad, and we just need to keep going. I think we'll win the groups. We'll win the group. I'll say comfortably. It hasn't been that comfortable so far, but that's what everybody wants to see. We'll win the group and see where we go from there.
And is this a chance to experiment with some of those young players, like Charlie Austin, or some of the ones that you think are knocking on the door?
Yeah, of course. I think it's good to look at what your alternatives are. In the past, we've always had a plan A, and it seems like we've never had a plan B. So maybe an opportunity to look at some players, and some of these young players coming through and in form at the moment, and that might give you a plan B.
And just finally, Les, on your own personal ambitions, you've been a player, and everyone says nothing replaces that. You've been a manager or assistant manager. You've been in the dugout. You're now working as a director of football. What's your ultimate ambition? Where would you like to see yourself in 5 or 10 years' time?
5 or 10 years' time, I'd still like to see myself here at Queen's Park Rangers in this club established in the way it wants to be established. This is the role that I wanted to play at some stage in my career. You know, I've done my coaching badges. I did the course in applied management, and last year I did the governance course on board at St George's Park, all with the notion that this is where I wanted to end up, and I'm here now. So I want to stay and make sure this is a successful position.
And of course, Premier League survival is crucial to the future. The talk of a new training ground, a new stadium down the line. Where can QPR go if they continue to stay in the Premier League and continue to develop off the field? You know,
it's paramount to stay in the division this season. That's what we need. And then once you've done that, then you can build on it. And you know, speaking to the owners, they want to stabilise QPR as a Premier League side. You know, and it used to be that many years ago. And that's where we need to get back to first and foremost, and then we can look on beyond that.
Fantastic. Thanks, Liz.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Good.
Perfect timing.
Good timing, yeah. I thought it was getting there.